care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united.
Hey everyone, it's Sean O'Connell, the Managing Director here at CinemaBlend and your resident Snyder Cut fan here at CinemaBlend, and we are still recovering from yesterday's DC FanDome, specifically the panel for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Obviously, you guys have been paying attention to all of our coverage as we ran through Saturday with the Wonder Woman 1984 and Suicide Squad. Zack's panel, the Batman, there's a ton of great DC goodness. I had to get on my very close friends, Nana and Cole, you know them collectively as the Nerd Queens. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Good.
So nice to be here.
I'm so happy to have both of you guys with us. And I know it's like we're doing this early Sunday morning. For Nana, it's like Sunday afternoon. And we're still recovering. But I want to get your guys' impressions, and I'll start, Cole, let me start with you. Just DC FanDome in general. How do you think that the entire day went? Because I went into it with a lot of trepidation of just like their servers won't be able to handle it. It's going to be a little bit underwhelming. What were your thoughts about the day?
The day was actually pretty surprising for me, like, because personally, like, I was more expecting something like Comic-Con at home, not to throw any shade, but they ended up presenting everything in such an amazing way. I loved the 3D building and everything, like with the Watchtower. There was a bit connection issues here or there, like a few times at crucial moments. I know myself and a bunch of other people, we lost connection. And it was like, you know, a mad dash to get back on connected. But otherwise, the programming was great. The presentation was great. It was such an amazing day to be a DC fan.
I don't know about each of you guys, but I was more nervous during the May 20th Man of Steel screening than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was kind of okay with everything. I was sort of like riding a wave, whereas on the Man of Steel screening, my palms were sweaty. I was in a really like is this actually going to happen? Is this the day kind of thing? Did it feel any different for you guys yesterday?
I think that I definitely understand what you're saying with the Man of Steel screening. There was a bit of anxiety with that. But yesterday, it was like, as we got closer and closer, I could feel my heart racing. And like, I was getting like really anxious and kind of like lightheaded. Because I was like, oh my God, it's after all that, it's here. It's time.
Yeah.
And it was like, this couldn't be happening. It didn't feel real until then. All of a sudden we're watching the trailer and it was like, it was real.
It was real. And the expectations, the bar was set to me so high, you know, like almost in an unfair, how is he going to match fan anticipation? 3 years of waiting to see finished footage. I'm stunned by the things he chose to show and how different it looks. So let's break down what we got to see in Zack Snyder's footage. Cole, I'm going to stay on you because I watched your reaction video, and immediately from the first second when Darkseid shows up, you look stunned.
Crying, actual, like I like. So if you notice with with that teaser, the amazing thing that he did is that he compiled all of these scenes that we had seen on his Vero, like pictures and a concept art of, but like the second that Darkseid showed up, I was like, you could have run me down with a bus. I couldn't have been more shocked of what was going on. Like, it was beautiful. It was done so well. It was raw, and it wasn't like he tried to refine him in the character design. Now all I could think about is Ray Porter. Finally.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about our other Ray then too. Ray Fisher. Already. Is getting such a character arc. Nana, what do you think about the cyborg stuff that they chose to show?
I mean, literally, like, what did we get? We got 2 scenes, and it was already more than the entire, than the entire fiasco in 2017 had. Like, it already had more character to it. And I mean, again, it's something that, as people who've been around the movement for, for a while, for a couple of years, and we've obviously seen stuff. We've seen the stills, we've seen the talks and all that stuff. So we kind of knew what's gonna, well, we knew that these scenes are supposed to be there, but still seeing them, seeing this. And I mean, if these scenes are anything to go by, Ray Fisher is going to be absolutely amazing.
And you can
there's
understand why
really-
he's so angry, why he's
Yes,
so
like,
upset.
yes.
Good,
I mean,
but it was like the scope widened when we saw that.
I agree.
it really, like, I feel like even this, even if it was a short teaser, it just gave us a hint of just how much we missed out on, especially in this character, like with this character.
There's something about the trailer too that I want to ask you guys, and maybe it's hard for you guys to comment on this because we're all so kind of embedded in what it shows. But I showed the trailer to my wife, who is a very casual fan for all of this. And as each moment was happening, I was explaining the context of it all. And she was like, this all sounds really beautiful, but I kind of realized if you're not a fan or up to speed on all these moments that are happening, I almost wonder if there needs to be a trailer that also just sets up what the story is going to be for casual fan.
That's why he's calling it a teaser, obviously, because like this was definitely his love letter to the fans. Because like I said, he focused on literally every scene that he has been able to give us a glimpse of on his Vero posts. But it was definitely him reaching out to the fans. This wasn't like a corporate like thing put together where it's going to have all the names popping up and it's going to have the title, the official title and everything, and an actual cohesive story. So I think that's definitely why he called it a teaser.
What was your favorite moment from the trailer?
That's a hard question, dude.
Oh my god, that's a tough one. I think, like, for me, it was the shot of the League, just before the Snyder Cut. That was like, I know that there was a butchered version of it in the previous one, but like seeing it as it was intended to be, it's just like, and it's got, it's a movie, but in the same time, it has this comic book look to it, and it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And that one's like when I saw that, I was ready to, like, I was bawling.
I lied. It's not that hard. The Not Us United part. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that's true.
It was funny. As I was getting ready to come on this call, I was putting on my makeup and I was listening to the encore. And I hear this thing start and I'm like, you have to finish your makeup. Don't look. And then I hear that. I was like, whoa.
The hair on my legs is standing up right now because I'm just thinking about that moment.
And it was such a callback. Again, it was a love letter to fans. Like, there was so much, it wasn't just the fact that it was stills from the from like his Vero, but it was also these things, these little, like even the choice of music and obviously the scene, it is all a love letter to fans that have been fighting for this. And you can really see it in there. That's why it's a teaser. It doesn't really tell you as much about the movie itself, but it was really...
Yeah, I bet the next glimpse we see, whatever, if it's going to be a trailer or another teaser, because Zack Snyder loves teasing, I think it'll be more like on par with the standard for movie trailers and whatnot. Sure. Like telling you this is the story.
Yeah. No. It's truly, when you look at all of them, all the things that he chose to show, it really was answering questions that fans have had this entire time about, like, how things are going to play out, what might we see. The things I'm going to celebrate from yesterday's teaser, going back and watching it multiple times, is how much love Barry Allen gets finally. And even just people have commented about this, how different the portrayal looks in Ezra's performance immediately. And you realize and again, I've said this on multiple occasions, it annoys me the way that they portrayed Flash in theatrical cut.
I'm afraid of bugs and guns and obnoxiously tall people. Pet Cemetery.
I think all of the decisions made that altered his performance, things that you could see that weren't Zack's stuff, were completely wrong for the character. And he looks just far more... He's heroic. He looks heroic in the teaser, but he also looks like the Speed Force is still new to him and he's kind of figuring it out as he goes. It makes me so excited for Muschietti's film and the way that they can hopefully build off of what we see in Snyder's interpretation of it, because I want to see a whole lot more of that. I want to ask you guys what you think, because this is something that we didn't know going into Saturday, and now it's going to be 4 parts, 1 hour each. I personally am very fine with that. Do you guys like that format?
I am stoked as
Yeah.
all hell.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Like company, like, you know, money wise, it's a really smart decision for HBO Max.
Mhm.
But for the fans and for Zack, we're literally getting everything he could want. Like, instead of confining him to a short amount, we're getting like even things that he hasn't teased us about cutting out. He can pick it up off the cutting room floor and fit it back in there. And it's like, that is just so exciting because, like, Nana has said over and over that one of the things she hates about the situation with the Snyder Cut is that, like, there's stuff that Zack revealed as we were fighting that we won't get to see as a surprise.
Okay.
And so, like, that part of the surprise is stolen from us by butchering the film. But if you think about it, there's stuff he hasn't revealed and he's going to add it in. So there's a lot of stuff I'm pretty sure we're going to get really surprised with, and that's going to like bring back that moment of holy crow.
Yeah.
I did say that, but to be fair, after seeing that teaser yesterday, I don't think it's gonna do much of a difference. I'm gonna be crazy about it anyway. But yeah, I did have the opinion that, you know, obviously because of what happened with the film back then, you know, Zack showing us, I mean, I was so happy that he did show us because it kept us going and it was amazing to know. But in the same time, you know, I just felt like, hey, this is what Warner Brothers took away from us. And it was just kind of like this moment that I would have been in the cinema and I would have seen Martian Manhunter come out and we didn't know he was supposed to. And it just like that moment when you find out that was taken away.
Sure.
And it just like kind of felt, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And to the point where we're almost, I think, at the stage where I don't necessarily want to see any more from it. You know, like I'm sure another trailer is going to come and we'll analyze every frame of it, but we're all sold, obviously. So let's try to maintain some of the suspense, what little bit you can at this point. So I don't know, but they're going to have to market it for sure. All right, let me ask one last question and try to see if you guys can think of something that you haven't seen yet from Zack that you hope ends up in this 4-part miniseries. Anything that stands out that you're still hoping to see that didn't show up yet?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Green Lanterns. I am personally really curious about them. Like,
Yes.
I'm curious, you know, if there are some, if there are like many of them or one of them. You know, I'd love to see Jon Stewart personally.
Mhm.
Like, I would really like to see Jon Stewart, Green Lantern in it. I don't know if he's there. I wish he was, you know, maybe even like a cameo, anything, just, you know, just to get something, because I think it would be really cool. And I mean, you see, you know, the shirt, I mean, it has Green Lantern on it. I'm not entirely sure which one, but yeah, it has it here. So I'm like, you know, that's what I would really like to see in there, and I hope it makes it in.
Cole, what about
I
yourself?
agree with Green Lantern, but also I would like to see if there's any possibility that he'll be able to leave in any connection with Suicide Squad with David Ayer's cut, because of the fact that it's been explained that before it was all cut up for the cinema, it was sort of supposed to be kind of like a preamble to Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really love to see like those, like, I don't know, like nods or hints or what have you, just to kind of acknowledge the universe is all together kind of in this little sandbox.
Well, and you guys tell me, I want to see Kevin Costner back. I want to see one more scene with him and Henry. Does that sound like something I could get my hopes up about based on things you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already dead when Batman v Superman happened, and we got a great scene with him and Henry. So honestly, it's like, as long as he's down to keep coming back as the character who's already dead, you know,
Yeah.
it'll be, I think anything's possible.
That would be
I think
great.
it makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah,
think it makes a lot of sense. You know, his ghost is sort of like this part of Clark's journey, and obviously Justice League is going to be another massive part of his journey. So I think it makes sense that he would make an appearance in some, you know, in some form to be as a guide. I hope so.
And so much of what had to be protected was anything that involved Henry, because if you remember, like the way that they played the marketing was, we don't even know if
we don't know.
Superman's in this.
Yeah, we don't know if we're bringing him back from the dead or we're
Yeah.
leaving him 6 feet under.
Right. And now Zach, I love the fact that he's just able to show the black suit Superman, and he's able to even throw in a clip of Superman punching Steppenwolf in mid-battle.
Super punch.
Yeah, so that's all sort of taken off the table. Like, we're not trying to hide it anymore. But there are elements, like even just seeing the Kansas scene and the Martha Lois reunion is just so. That's when it started to hit me during the trailer, when I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna really mess me up emotionally. And then it went to the League reveal, the team, and then of course Ben's line at the end of it.
I think that's another good reason why it's cut into 4 parts, because it's going to be so emotionally taxing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I might end up crying throughout half the episode. And I usually don't cry over stuff, but this has got me in my feelings. So
it's so much more than a movie, you know? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that's the message from yesterday. It's truly been about bringing this vision back to life. And I'm not going to name names, but I will tell you, I was still having people in my direct messages yesterday saying to me, well, if it's 4 parts, it's not really the Snyder Cut then. Like, that, they're still pushing that narrative. It's exhausting. I can't understand it.
Like, we've seen people we've seen that too as well, where people are just like, oh, if it's 4 episodes, it's compromised. Like, how is it compromising?
Right.
It's literally
improved.
Yeah, it's like literally giving Zack more room to do whatever the frick he wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what we fought for.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, I think that at this point, certain people are set in the mindset that, you know, they just can't take the whole "it exists" and deal with it, as J. Oliver would say. They just sort of, they're set in the whole thing. It doesn't exist, and you guys, I don't know, bullied Warner Brothers into it and whatnot. If you're set in hating something, you're just
It's hard to let
do
go
it.
of that.
Nobody's going to change your mind. Yeah.
Well, we're not here to celebrate that. Today, we're here to celebrate what happened yesterday. And it was truly a remarkable moment. Something that I think a year ago, 6 months ago, we probably never would have dreamed to see. I said something on my Twitter feed a couple days ago where I said, I'm looking at something that I honestly just can't believe is real. And what it was the announcement of the Snyder Cut of Justice League as part of a DC FanDome. And when you think about how the studio, you know, this was a pariah project, you know, they didn't want anything to do with it. And for them to turn 180 degrees and embrace it and make it part of, you know, the Hall of Heroes yesterday, such a remarkable achievement.
Like seeing the clips of Zack or from the cut in other panels, and hearing other directors say his name finally and like speak about their love for him. It was just like, it was like these 5-second things, but it meant so much. It was like, finally Zack is getting the respect, the recognition, the cut is real. It was just,
oh my god, wasn't Patty one of the pre-recorded questions for him?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, like, we've always argued against the thing that that people thought Patty wasn't like a supporter. It was like, there's a thing called towing the company line and having to,
of course,
you know, keep your own job, you know. And it was like that. It was so nice to see them talking on screen together and see them like just the mutual respect and the love that's between Patty and Zack. That's so palpable. It was just so nice.
Well, Cole, to mention that, like, every director at Warner Brothers has either had their project taken away from them or altered in some way, shape, or form. I mean, Kathy Yan's talking about Birds of Prey. Obviously, what happened to Zack. Flash has had 7 different directors over the course of his run. You know, they're on thin ice over there every single time they take a project. So
exactly.
I hope with Jim Lee now running the charge, there's more of a support for, you know, filmmakers and voices, and it feels like that's the direction it's going in.
It does feel like it.
Yeah, Jim Lee has like every time he was talking about the different projects, it just felt like this is someone who genuinely cares about the art, the artists, and the characters he's also like the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the most characters he's made. You know, so it's like, of course, he's like the perfect person to like step into this role, and it's just he fills me with so much hope, and a lot more hope than I had in a while for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. All right, I'll wrap it up here. Nana, give me one word that describes the Zack Snyder panel from yesterday.
Incredible.
I like it. Cole?
Perfect.
I can't get better than that. I'm going to leave it at both of those. Thank you guys very much for tuning into our recap of the Snyder Cut panel and DC FanDome as a whole. These are my very close friends, the Nerd Queens. Please follow them on social media. Go to their YouTube channel, give them a subscribe because they are creating amazing content on the regular, talking about all the things DC that you guys love. I am Sean O'Connell here at CinemaBlend. While you're here, please give us a subscribe. Turn on your notifications, and every single time we post a new video on our YouTube page, you guys will be the very first ones to hear about it.